For Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, we found out we're not making curry anymore at picnic time. We're making sandwiches. So we're going to dive into the new picnic system that was released in the brand new trailer, ask a bunch of different questions, and have a lot more that are unanswered. Let's get into it. So we get introduced to this brand new system, just like we had the camping grounds in Sword and Shield. We have a picnic instead, which is, honestly fine. One of the fun things that get introduced instead of just playing with the Pokemon, which I'm assuming you can also do, but they show that you can actually give them a bath, which increases their health and their kind of strength and bond with you as a trainer. So it's a nice little thing you can do. All right, that answers my question already. You can already play with a Pokemon with a soccer ball, so that's nice. One of the main things that does come up while we're looking in this trailer is that you can take a look at this very specific basket and you find a Pokemon egg. Now this in and of itself has raised so many more questions than there are answers in the entire trailer. So let's dive into that a little bit more. Some of the main questions that I have with it is actually the fact that we don't know which two Pokemon in a group of 6 are actually going to be the parent of the Pokemon. You can usually just have two Pokemon that you would drop off to the breeder. You knew exactly what Pokemon you were going to get, and you just hope to get a shiny or some better values of the HP bar, the attack boost, all those different stats. It's just kind of rolling the dice at this point. We don't actually know what the heck's going to happen with the certain Pokemon that you have on your team. It just appears. And from what I understand, it's not guaranteed every time that you go on a picnic, you're going to get an egg. So it really is just odds of rolling like a 20-side dice. So you never know what's going to happen. So it brings up a bunch of different issues for a bunch of different people that love to do the breeding cycle. I'm curious of what it's actually going to be like. I personally enjoy the mystery of it and just excited to see what this is going to do for the entire system of breeding. Another question that I have around the whole egg appearing at your picnic site thing, do we fully know that there's only going to be an egg from the Pokemon in your party, or will you just randomly come across an egg that appears at your picnic site because you set up an area where there happens to be an egg? I'm just curious about it. Obviously, we won't fully know what it's going to be like for this whole new system, but I'm curious to see if you could pick up random eggs in the wild as well. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like this change or do you not? I know a lot of people probably are going to dislike it. Personally, I like the change. I'm always up for change and just to try out a brand new system. But again, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. Next, we're coming up into one of the major segments that I found very interesting, and I moved my camera so I could show you one thing in particular that I know I mentioned on my main trailer overhaul video. So obviously you get to make sandwiches instead of curry like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, and it seems like you can only do a certain amount of weight and a certain amount of stuff on it until the sandwich starts falling apart. I'm curious that if the different ingredients have different stat changes, if it does certain things, we're just going to have to see when we get into the game, and I'll obviously be doing a video summarizing all of it. One of the main things that comes up with this, as soon as you actually start trying and giving these sandwiches to your Pokemon, you can see the effects on them, if they're happy or if it's terrible. You get the different stars like we have with the curry system. But one thing I want to point out in particular is on the top right here on your screen is that it actually boosts up different encountering, different catching powers for different types of Pokemon. So for this instance, for this Tasty Florian original sandwich, you get catching power increased for fairy Pokemon, encounter power for grass, and raid power for ground. Off the top, my assumption is that you get better catching power against fairy Pokemon, so you're more likely to get a critical catch. Encountering power is increased for grass. That means you're going to get better encountering odds for grass-type Pokemon, which is massive for shiny hunters, and also raid power for ground. So if you find a Terra raid battle that is difficult but is weak against ground, even better for your odds. There's so many different ways that we're going to be able to use this particular sandwich system, probably different ingredients that you come across in the wild, to really help your odds catching specific type Pokemon. You know, a lot of people using the shiny hunting method are going to use the heck out of this to their favor, and people that are trying to get specific Terra-typed Pokemon, which I know a lot of people are going to be grinding for that, me included, are going to use this as well to get a very specific type of raid power boost to be able to catch these really difficult Pokemon. I think it's a W. I think it's crazy that they added this, and I cannot wait to see this implemented inside the game itself. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Another question that I had around the picnicking thing is that you obviously are in the plains area, in a grassy area. My thought was, does it change any time that you put down the picnic it changes the backgrounds of it, because I know in Sword and Shield, the actual area that you put down your tent, it really didn't change all that much, and it kind of came really repetitive. And with this giant map that we obviously have for the Paldea region, I'm hoping that they change it every time, depending on where you are, depending on which region you jump into, that they change the background, because I know a lot of people are going to be taking photos with their Pokemon, sharing it on social media. I'll probably be doing the same, but it's a curious thing that I wanted to bring up, and I hope they do it. Outside of the trailer as well, there is information about the picnic situation on the Pokemon website. Basically what it's saying is that you can do this anywhere in the wilderness. The picnics allow you to spend leisure time with your Pokemon. You can change the designs of the tablecloth, cups, water bottles, all the other picnic items to your liking. So you can customize them as much as you want. When you start your picnic, your party Pokemon as well as the legendary Pokemon that accompany you, Koraidon and Miraidon, will come and gather around you. We've kind of seen this before. You can also choose your favorite filters and take photos during the picnics while you're out exploring. Filters can be added to do a great trendy photo. So you can change up the photos however you want to, so you can post a little bit more on social media. It then also dives into a little bit more what you can do with the sandwich. So decide what kind of sandwich you'll make. You can make all kinds of sandwiches at a picnic. Before you begin making your sandwich, you'll choose which fillings, condiments you want to use, and as well pick a sandwich that will hold it all together. Once you're ready, arrange the ingredients, your bread, stack it carefully. You don't have to balance them properly. You might accidentally cause your ingredients to topple over or fall off the bread entirely. So there is a bit of a balance kind of situation like you have with the curry, where you could burn it, have incorrect ingredients, stuff like that. So this is nothing really all that new, just in a sandwich situation. When your Pokemon eats it, not only will their health be restored, but the meal may impart some effects that will come in handy in your adventures. Something that I had mentioned earlier in the little graphic that it showed inside the trailer, where you get buffs inside each sandwich. So that's going to be super helpful for when you're trying to go out to certain Pokemon, especially shiny hunting. Like I mentioned as well, during the picnic, you become better friends with your Pokemon. You can speak to your Pokemon one-on-one or use toys to play with them, like we saw in Sword and Shield. Help strengthen bonds together. When you have picnics with your Pokemon, you also might find a Pokemon egg. And that's really about the only time we hear about the Pokemon egg. If we scroll down a bit more, it starts talking about how you can scrub your Pokemon. In these titles, you can have your Pokemon walk alongside you, or battle can cause them to get grimy and dirty. By watching your Pokemon at a picnic, they will not only get clean, but their HP will be restored and their bond with you will become stronger. So this game is really starting to seem as much about trying to get a strong bond with your Pokemon as it is just trying to level them up. So apparently bonds are going to be one of the major things in part of this. Maybe it comes into Terastallizing at some point. We don't know. We're just going to have to find out when the games come out. Finally, all that's mentioned about it is that picnics become even livelier when you play with friends. You can also enjoy picnics with friends while playing together in the Union Circle. Just approach players, playing picnic together. Basically the same idea as you can walk up the tents and just kind of join them like you did in Sword and Shield, except this time I'm assuming it's just picnic tables. An interesting thing though, you can take a group photo or take sandwiches together, up to 3 friends, and making a picnic even livelier of an occasion. But you can also find a Pokemon egg while you and your friends' Pokemon are playing together, hinting in that your Pokemon can interact with your other friends' Pokemon and get a specific kind of Pokemon egg. Again, we still don't know what kind of Pokemon it's going to end up being with this new breeding system, but it adds a bit of flavor to the whole situation. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I personally have more questions than I have answers after going through this and kind of looking at the details a little bit more closely, especially about the incubating egg and the whole breeding system. That one has me perplexed, and I want to know the details now, but we're going to have to wait until the full games come out in about a month. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did you like the picnic system? Are you excited for it? What would you have changed in this system outside of the tent and curry system to this brand new picnic and sandwich system? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm genuinely curious and I want to see what you guys think. Thanks again for coming through this video all the way to the end. If you could, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. We're covering a lot more content as the games are releasing soon, and we're going to have a lot more stuff coming out before then. Other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.